So, good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Diamond Brown. I am making a video because I have been reaching out to so many people around, I wouldn't say the nation, but a couple states, cities, towns, pleading for assistance or help in trying to make a movement for my son and 5 other kids that were taken too soon. On last year, November 21st, 2016, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it was a bus crash that led to the death of my son and 5 other kids. And it's been very hard to get recognition for our kids. October the 3rd, the person who is responsible for our kids' death was released home on bond, and it kind of disturbed the community. I personally had already forgiven the person who took my son's life because I know that God would want me to do that. So I had to make a big commitment to Christ that I will forgive, never forgetting. But to make a long story short, it was a school bus crash that killed 6 kids and injured 31 other kids. My son name is Demian Lamar Brown. He was my only child. So I speak a lot to the public. I always have rallies or events that helps me keep my son alive to me. In 2016 of July, I was released from federal prison. I did 4 years and 10 months on a drug conspiracy. I was already cut short from his life by being absent for nearly 5 years. I was only out 4 months before this crash happened that took my son's life. He's 7 years old as of September 1st of this year. So he was only 6 years old when he passed away. So I missed a lot of years. My son's father is incarcerated. He's been incarcerated for nearly 7 years on the same indictment that I was on. I was released from federal prison early because Obama passed a drug law that allowed you to be sentenced 2 points below the mandatory guidelines if you was sentenced above your guidelines. And I fell in those categories. I had a mandatory minimum of 5 years, and I had got 7 years for the conspiracy. I was able to visit my son once the whole time I was incarcerated, because I was too far away from home for my family to bring him to see me. So when they moved me closer to home, it was almost time for me to be released. And so I was only able to visit him one time. But when I came home from being incarcerated, I went to college. It took me 2 weeks. I had an apartment. I didn't have a car yet, but I had obtained legal guardian back of my son, which was never an issue because my mom always had him. So he was living with me up until the point that the wreck took place, the school bus incident. I've been reaching out like to so many people for so many months, trying to get press, people to help, advocate for our kids. It's been very, very hard. It is a wrongful death lawsuit that we are fighting. I wouldn't so much call it fighting because we haven't really went through the process, but it is a set amount on the table. But I just had declined anything as far as to moving forward with that because I hadn't got any type of discovery of my son from the incident. I haven't got any type of audio recordings. I haven't got anything. The bus driver had several complaints prior to the accident, months before the accident. He missed so many safety meetings. It was just so much that has taken place in this little bit of time that is negligent on the companies and not so much as the bus driver. And it's like they holding valid information from us parents. Like, I buried my son without ever even seeing his body. Like, I had to lay my baby to rest without even identifying him because his body was I don't want to talk about it. But I just try to stay very strong because I know I'm a very faithful person in God. And I believe that everything happens for a purpose. Not so much as a reason, but it's a purpose behind things that happen in your life. And I look at my situation and I just look at it. It could have been anybody's child. It's a school bus. You put your kids on school buses to return home safely. You never expect that. They'll never return back home the way you put them on the bus. We have been to Nashville for seatbelts on buses, which was denied. We have done rallies. And I just feel like because I live in a city that's very biased, like, black folks don't really matter here, These were 6 black kids, I just look at the outcome of it being, and I'm not trying to make it out to be a race card or anything like that, because I am far from racist. Like, my best friends is white, got a lot of people behind me that's white, you know. But I just feel like the outcome of 6 white kids being on this bus versus the 6 black kids, we'll be dealing with a whole nother type of system. And I understand that this driver not facing no more than 6 years in prison because vehicular homicide only holds 4 to 6 years. So I already accepted that, you know. I accepted all that, you know. But what I haven't been able to accept is responsibility. Like, everybody trying to beat around the situation, but responsibility don't really even lie in Jonathan Walker's hands to me. It's the bus driver. The responsibility is the negligence of the Board of Education, the negligence of the school bus company by all the complaints that was sent in before this accident even happened, about his speed, about the wrecks he had before this incident, about him telling the kids, shut up, you ready to die. Like, all this stuff is documented months and weeks before this accident, so this could have been prevented. To me, it could have been prevented. They could have put somebody else on the bus with him a day or two. They could have done, it was other options that they could have taken that they failed to take. So I'm not even upset no more with this man. Like, he's the least of my worries. Like, he gotta deal with being the bus driver killer for the rest of his life, you know. That's something that's got to sink in with him for the rest of his life. I gotta deal with coping, staying strong, making sure my son's name never die. And when I say it's hard, like, you can experience deaths in your life. Like, you can deal with certain people dying, you know. You can, like, I have a hard time. Like, I know my grandma, when she passed, it was hard. But it was a death that I was able to manage emotions and all that. But to lose a child or a mother, I just feel like it's a whole nother type of feeling and pain that you go through. Like, that's like the worstest thing you could have experienced, is like losing your child. And I'm not saying, like, I understand like street violence and gang members dying and things of that nature. You know, if you in it, you already know what the consequences is in front of streets. You know what the consequences is if you get into a gang, drug life. You know, your life could be cut short. You know, dead or in jail. You know, you deal with that, you know. But an innocent child, like, my baby was the youngest baby on the bus. His injuries was the worst of all, you know. Every time I think about a human head being decapitated out their body, it brings something up to me. It's just so much. Like, I'm reaching out to people all over trying to get assistance. Like, we gotta turn this here, but guess what? We probably could have better ones. We don't know. Yeah, it's offers on the table, millions of dollars, you know, but it's never amount of money that can mount up to your child life. Like, you want to always get to the bottom of something like this, you know. You don't want to go on forever. Like, I can never sleep behind this. Like, I never sleep behind this. Like, this my life. Like, what if I'm not blessed again to ever have a child? You know, what if it's not meant for me to ever get pregnant again? What if this was the only child that I could have, and he was taken from me like this? Like, he didn't deserve to go on a school bus and not come home from school. You know, no child deserves that. At 6 years old, you know, there needs to be probably some guidelines to ride the bus again. You know, maybe they can't be a certain age or something. You know, I don't know, because at 6 years old, like, he ain't even had He was barely in the kindergarten. He was barely in the kindergarten. That's all I can think about is helping him with his homework every day. Trying to teach him how to be a man. Vacuum cleaning the floor. Helping his mama with the trash. Signing up for school to make him want to be more involved in school. Like going back to college after being told, you know, that you will never amount to nothing. After you go to prison, this felon gonna follow you for the rest of your life. Being shot down for jobs. When you get out, you can't make it. You got to start from the bottom again. You know, that's a struggle. You know, and it's been one for me. But through it all, I kept faith. You know, I kept prayer in my circle. And I believe in the Almighty. You know, I do. And I don't believe that this was something that he created, because he don't create this type of stuff. You know, I know he create evil and good and all that, but it's just limitations to what he do. You know, my baby did take that bus home from school, but he took a different bus. You know, he in heaven. It's no doubt about it. I don't ever have to question him ever. I don't ever have to question which way he went, because I know, and anybody else know, that a 6-year-old child don't have another option but to go to heaven. What could they possibly do to prevent God from accepting them into heaven? My biggest issue is, like, it's so damn hard. Like, it's hard to deal with this. Like, it's hard even being free now. Like, you know, I go through so much just to get a job. I go through so much just to make it through this world. Like, I've been going through it, and I only been out for 16 months. I done been denied jobs that I know that my intelligence and my capabilities and my education qualify me for. But I can never get them once they do my background check, because this one felon prevents me from getting anything that I want to get done in life. Nobody take you serious no more. Like, it's been almost 7 years, you know, since this incident, since this case was about. 7 years in April of 2018. And when I say it's been one of the hardest, it's been one of the hardest struggles in my life. Like, and then to icing the cake, the person that I got out here and did it for, like, I know my mistakes done hunted me. Like, they done hunted me down. And I hate this. I hate this for any mother. Like, you get back out here, you rebuild yourself, you rehabilitate yourself while you incarcerated. You go in there, you come back out stronger than you ever went in. Like, I went in there with nothing. I came out with my GED, college credits, all kinds of trades, all kinds of vocational culinary skills, all kinds of stuff, you know. To only get slapped back in the face with it, you know, like, it didn't mean nothing, because the person that I was really striving hard for was my son. Like, he was my motivation. He was my make me get up. He the person that made me get up every morning and want to go to work. So I had something to work for. I had something to live for. I had something to go to school for, to further my education for. Ever since I lost my child, I had to drive nothing. But I woke up one morning and I had to drive to fight for my son. Like, fuck these folks. Like, they can offer me so many millions of dollars. Like, I'll probably keep on saying no. Because I'm trying to find some justice. Like, I'm trying to find a way, like, how could you let somebody out for the holidays that took the life of 6 children, all because he ain't never been in trouble in his life? But how could you let him out for the holidays? Like, these the most remorseful holidays of your life. Thanksgiving and Christmas, these the most remorseful holidays of your life. You want to be with your family. I know they is, because even when I was incarcerated, like, Thanksgiving and Christmas come up, them was big to you. Like, your birthday wasn't even nothing. But when Thanksgiving and Christmas come up, you think to be around so many family members. And I did 5 holidays, you know, like it wasn't nothing in there, you know. But at the same token, these is precious holidays, you know, because this was about around time when I got out last year that I was supposed to be able to spend. And I was supposed to be able to spend with him for the first time. I was supposed to be able to spend these holidays with him as his mama for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I had so many plans for him for Christmas. I was doing so much stuff for him. And for him to only have his life cut short, it's not fair for him. It's not fair to none of those kids. None of them kids didn't deserve to lose their life. He was speeding. He was going 20 miles over the speed limit, driving a school bus with 37 children on it. You know, he was on a wrong path. He wasn't supposed to be taking that route. He was going the wrong. He was doing everything wrong. But they gave him a bond to be home with his own family. Like, if these laws ain't unjust, I don't know what is. If this world ain't unjust, I don't know what is. I gotta take a stand for my child, for those other kids. I have to take a stand, because I don't know what else to do other than to let your voice be heard, you know. And I know my life is a testimony itself. I know that, you know. We'll get to that, but it ain't about me. It ain't about me. God used people. He used people in certain situations. And I feel like that he used me, you know. And I'm grateful for that. I thank you, God. You know, I do. You know, but I just wish that, you know, it wouldn't have been during these type of circumstances that you used me. Like, you took a valuable piece of me. I mean, it's a valuable piece of me gone. That's all I had. Who think to lose their only child to a school bus crash at 6 years old? But my message is to try to reach out to, I don't care if it's just one person that can help us, that can assist us with this movement for our kids, that can help us fight for justice for our kids, that can help us take bus 366 to a whole nother level in the world, you know, because these was innocent kids, lives taken. And this ain't got nothing to do with gaining anything off of this. It's got something to do with people taking a stand for what's right, you know, in your community. You know, we got a lot of people bag us here. You know, we have a lot of people. But it's hard to get recognized when you in this small city, when you minority out. You know, these people is overrated. They overrate us on a regular. And then we got the most violent city that it could be, you know. But when you take all that back, you don't think about that. What you think about is these 6 kids that lost their life on November 21st, 2016 that need justice. So that's all we asking for. I don't care who it reach. I just hope it reach somebody. Have a good day.